Teamwork makes the dream work. Collaboration. What's going on with this collaboration? And King of Swords. And the Three of Swords. 2 threes here. Okay. Be careful of whatever teams you are a part of at this time. Someone might be playing with you, or someone might be trying to play with your reputation. A lot of intellectual warfare, a lot of gossip, rumor spreading. Even though you're part of this team, you know, and you belong there. You're part of the team for a reason. However, there is someone else on this team that is spreading some kind of lies. They have feelings for this King of Swords, and they don't want you to be on this team, obviously, because they want to kick you off it. They want them all to themselves. Whether or not you are interested in this King of Swords is another story, but there is some other player here. They might actually be a player of sorts. If not, they could just be playing a game with people around them. Who's going to believe my side of the story? But usually people that believe only one side of a story without doing their own research or not believing rumors at all are kind of stupid, because they're foolish, let's say. Maybe not stupid, that's a little harsh, but they're foolish to believe rumors because you never really know the truth. There's always 3 sides to the truth, right? There's one side, the other person's side, and what really happened. And you know, there's a lot of studies done where take 10 people, they all watch a scenario take place. It's kind of like a police test. You know, you watch a scenario take place, you try to take in as much details as possible, and then you're tested on it. What did you see? Who was in the room? What shirt were they wearing? What color was it? All these little details, right? And every single person will have a slightly different point of view to the story. So of course, when there is rumors being made, or there's someone spreading gossip or talking about another person when they're not in the room, you have to wonder, what is the motivation? Why is this person talking about another person that's not present? What is their motivation? To make themselves look better? To make the other person look worse? To get ahead somehow? To manipulate someone else's way of thinking about you? So when I say people that believe rumors are foolish, they're not thinking for themselves. They're just being fed like babies, like they're being spoon fed, you know, and they're just gulping it up and not thinking. You don't have to worry about those people, because they're not the type of people that you really want around you anyway. People that can't think for themselves, people that are easily swayed. You know, they're kind of like lemmings. Like you can lead them off a cliff and they'll just follow the person in front of them without thinking like, oh, maybe we're marching toward death here. So beware of betrayal. Maybe someone's trying to betray you in a group setting, behind your back though. And this person is used to doing this and getting away with it. That's why that's why it's been going on for so long. But usually the truth comes out. Sometimes it takes a long time for the truth to come out, and it's frustrating to just sit and wait for it to come out, because if you speak up when there's no context, you know, of the conversation or of the situation, let's say, you might be looked at as someone that's spreading gossip, someone that's spreading rumors, someone at fault, right? So you kind of have to wait for the right moment to jump in, and speak your truth. And sometimes that it can take a long time for the truth to come out, but it always surfaces. Look at what's happening now. There's a lot of truths being uncovered in society, and it's happened for decades. So hopefully it doesn't take decades for the truth to come out for you, but sometimes you just have to bite your tongue and sit on your hands and wait, to wait for the right moment, right? And then when you have that moment, like, jumping into a double dutch game, when you have the right moment, then you can say what's on your mind. Then you could say your truth, your side of things, and it won't be looked at as spiteful. People are so annoying sometimes. The Fool. Yeah, you're remaining innocent at this time. You're remaining, like this might be a new group that you've recently joined, right? Like it's a new group of some sort. And you also, you're trying to feel out the group, the situation, the vibe. Some people walk into a room of people they don't know and they just start talking, call them extroverts or whatever. Some people walk into a room and kind of read the room before they open their mouth. Whatever the case is for you, you're starting something new, or you joined a new group of people of some sort, and it's a new beginning for you. So you don't want to overstep your boundaries by saying things, by starting issues, even though it's not an issue that you really started, but you're aware of the issue, and I think you know who it is. Yeah. This person's trying to get everyone to turn against you. They're nervous about you. For what reason? Who knows? But they don't want you around, let's say. They don't want you around this new group. And they can't control you physically. They can try to scare you away. They can try to intimidate you away, but you're not going anywhere. So what else do they have left? Manipulation, social isolation. They want you to feel unstable. They want you to feel like you don't belong there, or they want you to just feel like no one likes you. And in order to do that, they have to spread rumors about you. Now, why would someone do that to you? What could they possibly say about you? If you're living truthfully and you're living, just a peaceful life, you're going about your own business, why would some other person want to manipulate your life so much? What's in it for them? They're threatened by you. It's their own low self-esteem. They might be so worried about being mediocre that they inflate their own life to the point that they're grandiose about it. It's giving me grandiose narcissists, where they just do everything possible to look special without, just be yourself. How about just being yourself? But some people can't do that for some reason. They have to pretend like they're somebody else. They have to bite off of everyone's style. They're a copycat. There's nothing authentic about someone like that. They just look to other people, and instead of being inspired by somebody else, they just take and manipulate and call it their own. Like, it's like stealing your shovel in the sandbox and then saying like, no, this was mine the whole time, right? Or they just don't want you to play. They don't want you to play in the same sandbox as them, metaphorically. So they just want to kick you out of it. So they're going to kick and throw sand at you, and then they're going to tell everyone else to kind of turn against you, and you might feel like you're alone. You might be coming from this sadness as well. So it's unfair to you because they don't know where you've come from. They don't know what you've gone through. Maybe you're already going through a heartbreak already. You're already mourning over something that has happened in your past, and you just want a fresh new start. You're like, a fresh new start, a new opportunity, new friends. And there's always one bad apple, one or two, that will always try to mess you up. But this also popped out too. We have the Strength card. So it's about being brave. You know, the lion, the Leos are about bravery and standing up for oneself, right? You know, and just counteracting evil, darkness, shitty people, let's say, with kindness. You can't fight fire with fire. So if this person is spreading lies, gossiping, let them, because you'll have your chance eventually to speak your truth. And sometimes you won't even need to speak your truth, because these fumbling idiots that like to talk will usually trip over themselves at a certain point. You know, they get so grandiose with their behavior, and they think that they can get away with everything. And eventually they forget that they're human, and they forget that they're also faulty. So they will make a mistake eventually and almost call themselves out. They'll also they'll expose themselves without you having to say anything. And then you have your 2 cents to put in if you want to. You could be like, oh yeah, well, you've been, messing with me for the past year and a half, and I haven't said a word. I've just been sitting here watching you look like a fool and letting you have the stage. But meanwhile, you're fake. You spread lies and gossip. You don't know what you're doing or saying. You're grandiose in everything that you do, and you're a complete narcissist to the book. But I'm just going to sit here and, pay attention to myself, kind of thing. You have the foresight to know when to hold them, when to fault them. I don't know why that came in. But you have the foresight to know when to pick your battles, right? And you're planning on going forward and moving forward in your life. If you've come from this state of heartbreak, trauma, abandonment, maybe you had a breakup recently, or just you've broken apart from a group of people and moved on, and now you're looking forward. So of course there's always going to be more people that are going to be pains in your rear ends, right? That never goes away. You can't always run and hide from bad people, because they're just everywhere, unfortunately. But you have to remember that there's good people too. And you always have to have faith that the truth does rise to the surface. So just remember that when you're going through this icky time, you have the strength to sit there regally and know your worth. Not let anyone try to diminish you with words that are especially false. Like, what could they possibly say about you? They don't even know you, kind of thing, right? You're keeping to yourself. You're kind of, you're leveling up. You're redreaming what you want, right? You're still searching for something better, and you're making plans. There's a lot of plans here, right? 3 of Wands, the Hermit. You're holding your ground. You're trying not to stay distracted by people. That's another tactic that people can use to get you off your game. If you're rising to the surface, you're rising up in whatever field you're in this group, and you're starting to gain notoriety, that's another tactic. A bad person will try to distract you from your own goal, because they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to succeed better than them, right? It's kind of like, I get the picture of being up to bat in baseball, right? You have to keep your eye on the ball with the pitcher. You have to watch the pitcher the entire time. You set yourself up at the plate, you take your stance, you kind of wiggle around, you get your hands ready on the bat, you get all set up, right? And then your eye stays on the ball. Now, all of a sudden, from the left, in the bleachers, you hear this idiot scream something at you to get you off your game. They're just like, you're an idiot, or whatever they say to distract you. And now all of a sudden your eyes go to the bleachers. The pitcher pitches the ball, and you're not ready for it now. Now you're distracted and you miss it. That's exactly what they wanted to do. It's like a heckler, right? They're heckling you in a sense. So you just remember that. Remember what you're dreaming about. The Hermit holds the star in its lantern, and you're looking outward into the future. And remember that. Keep your eye on what you want. Keep your eye on who you are. Keep your chest out proudly, right? Don't diminish yourself for this person. even if there's other people around you that are starting to believe these gossipy lies for some reason, it's their fault. It's not yours. It's not your responsibility to prove to other people who you are. You be who you are, and you prove it by your actions. And that is more powerful than any words that you could say. It's kind of like someone saying like, I'm smart, right? I'm smart. It's like, I'll know when you're smart when you do smart things, right? Just because you say that you're smart, or just because you say that you're good at something, doesn't mean that you're actually good at it. It's like a dancer that has a grandiose personality, and this dancer doesn't really know how to dance, but they like to pretend that they're better than everyone else in the world for some reason, because they have an inflated ego. They will pay money behind the scenes to inflate their YouTube video views. So to the world looks at the video and they see thousands of views and they go, oh, I guess she's okay. Meanwhile, she's not any better than mediocre. But behind the scenes, she's so worried about being mediocre that she's willing to pay a company to inflate her view counts, to inflate her ego, in order to look more special than she is. And a lot of the world will be tricked by that. But once you catch on to these silly games, you'll realize that you can't be swayed by counts, views, likes, all this nonsense. It's so manipulated. Anyone could buy views. Anyone could buy likes on the internet. It's been happening for decades now. As long as Instagram has been going, since at least 2010, you were able to buy fake likes. It's nothing new. So this person thinks that they're getting away with murder almost. Like they think that no one will catch on because no one maybe has, or maybe no one has called her out on it. But what I'm saying is that let the fool be the fool, because the fool will eventually think that they're so indestructible and no one will ever know. They'll fall off the cliff eventually. They'll trip themselves up, or they'll expose themselves verbally without really thinking about what they're doing, right? So remember that the next time you get frustrated with someone that's trying to manipulate a situation. I use female because females usually like to socially denigrate people. They don't physically harm people most of the time. Men will usually, duke it out and then get over it. Women will do a lot of things under the surface, under the table. There's a lot of social isolation that they do, a lot of gossiping, manipulation with reputations and all that stuff. So just remember that the next time that you're in a group and you feel like you're getting weird looks, just realize that you can walk around and have strength knowing that you know who you are, right? Strength begins with the choice to be kind to myself. Be kind to yourself. You know that you're not a bad person. You know that whatever this person is saying is untrue. You know who you are. This person doesn't really even know who you are. They don't want to know who you are. They're threatened by you because deep inside, they know that you're special, or there's something about you that they're threatened by. Yep, making lies, manipulations, deceit, trickery, cheating. They're trying to be underhanded with their approach with you because they can't outwardly say anything because they'll look like an asshole, right? It's kind of like going back to the sandbox analogy. You're in a sandbox with a bunch of people, you're all playing with different toys, and all of a sudden this narcissist says, hey, look over there, and then she swishes everyone's toys around. So when everyone looks back, they're like, wait, I thought I had a different toy. And she just has these really big, wide, crazy eyes on with a smirk on, but doesn't say anything, right? Eventually, someone's going to catch on to it. And this person kind of knows that you know what's going on, but other people might not. So remember that the truth comes to the surface eventually. Apathy. Yeah, it's like, again, another person, another narcissist. Unfortunately, if you grew up around narcissists, you might be acclimated to always being around other ones, or you might be a target for narcissists because you're so confident, because there's something special about you, or there might be some sort of trauma bonding happening that you need to get over. If you're used to being manipulated or abused by narcissists, you have to learn how to break that spell almost, right? How to break the continuation of meeting the same person over and over and over again in a different body. Now, it's not your fault, but you have to learn what you can do to break it, break it off. Maybe it's standing up for yourself a little bit more. Maybe it's having a little bit more of a hard edge, even though you don't have to be a bitch, but you can have a harder edge where, someone that tries you will realize that there's no way that they're going to get through to you. If you are gullible, they'll just sink their teeth into you and never let go. And you'll be confused for the rest of your life, thinking that it's always your fault, because that's what they do. It's never their fault. It's always yours. 21:12 on the clock. So just remember that there's always going to be this kind of energy like, like these people will never, ever leave, So you have to, just kind of gather up enough. Maybe it's researching how to deal with narcissism. Maybe it's researching how to have bigger boundaries, or speaking up for yourself, or just stating your case. And if you already know how to do that, then it's just about waiting for the right time to speak your truth, because it will come. It will come. Okay. Let's just get one more card. Cleanse your dusty wings so you can fly more freely. Yeah. When you hold on to, and this one also came out too, so you're on the right path, obviously. And you have to call into yourself the courage, with the line again about courage and bravery, courage, confidence, and protection, right? You have to protect yourself against people that are predators. Humans are the biggest predators. We always think about animals. I'd rather be in a forest with a bunch of predators, like bears and coyotes and whatever else, than with a bunch of people that are narcissists, because they are detrimental to your health. They are murderers without touching you. So you have to learn how to have courage in order to stand up for yourself, in order to walk into a room when you know that there's people talking about you or spreading lies about you. It doesn't matter. Don't stoop down to that level, and don't wilt away because someone's trying to chip at your confidence, right? Walk with your shoulders back, stick your heart out, and be, have some armor on, but know that you are standing tall. And, if you fall down, you get yourself up, you dust yourself off so you can fly more freely. This is your time to fly, and you're on your way forward. Remember about this, you're planning, you're developing the foresight and the self-confidence again, believing in yourself. And then when you have your belief in yourself and you know yourself fully, no one could break that about you. No one could say anything to you to try to chip away your self-esteem, okay? In my categories. So remember, keep your eye on the prize, look forward with your chest out, shoulders back, and know how far you came. Dust your wings off and fly forward.